Today we're going to be talking about John Wayne Gacy. He was the reason I feel that so many people are afraid of clowns, because he would dress up as a clown and he was one of the worst serial killers of American history. I am going to be telling you guys exactly what he did and how many people he killed, why he probably did it. So when John Wayne Gacy was a child, he was severely abused by his drunk father. Along with his sisters, they would get abused. His mother would get abused. His dad was like unimpressed with him, that he would not be like the other boys, and he would hit him with a razor belt. Now, I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's some sort of fucked up homemade whipping device. He used to get the shit kicked out of him all the time, and it got to the point where he wouldn't even cry. And so that is how severely beaten he was. Not like that's an excuse for anything he did in the future, because that's just, you don't do what he did. So John was believed to be gay. He denied that fact to the day that he died. He would claim in the end to being bisexual, but in the beginning he wanted to hide that he was gay altogether. So John was in this group. It was like a club, and it was called the JCs. It was basically like a gentleman's club. He would get people to sign up for it by literally hosting orgies with prostitutes, and he would like convince them to sign up and be like, I'm cool, like let's have orgies. And it was just weird. His first wife was actually like a swinger. If you don't know what a swinger is, it's people who will like try to hook up with other couples or like pass off each other's spouses. That's how him and his wife's relationship were, and it was pretty weird. But whatever, do your own thing as long as you're not murdering people. Well, while John's wife was in the hospital having a baby, John was out getting a blowjob from, I think, another co-worker, I believe. And then he went to the hospital in the morning, acted like nothing happened and whatever. So like he was just pretending he wasn't gay, basically. It sounds like to me he was in the closet and he was not ready to come out of the closet. First thing that he ever did that was illegal, he convinced one of the people in his club's sons to come with him to his house, and he showed him the porno and got him drunk and then made the kid suck his dick, and then he sodomized him, I believe. And he said to the boy, he was like, I have friends in the mob in Chicago, like they'll fucking kill you if you tell anybody. So the kid actually didn't speak up for a while until 1968, when he did eventually speak up, and he said, you know, this fucker is crazy, dad, get him arrested, like he fucking raped me. He was given 10 years in prison. Guess how long he was in prison? Just guess how long he was in prison. He was in prison for a total of 16 months and got out on good behavior. While he was in jail, he was the cook at the jail. He sang in choir at the jail. It sounded like jail was just a really fucking good time for John Wayne Gacy. He gets out on good behavior. Not even 2 years out of his 10-year sentence. Okay, whatever. So in 1971, he decided, hey, I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna start my own contracting company. Starts dating this girl, Carol, because his first wife, I'm guessing, divorced him when he was in jail. Things didn't work out. I don't know, maybe because he made a little boy suck his dick. But his new girlfriend, who knew about all of this and was okay with it, apparently, like, you sodomized someone and now you're gonna date. Okay, what the fuck kind of Tinder date is that? They're dating for a little while, and then in 1972, he brought home this boy, was like, I'm gonna give you a job opportunity at my contracting company, forces the boy to have sex with him, and then he stabs him and kills him. And it was the first time he ever did anything like that, and so he ended up burying him in the crawl space in his house. And that was like the first time he did it, and he really liked it. And then 6 months later, he gets married to Carol, who clearly has no sense of her surroundings or the fact that there's like a dead body in her boyfriend's house. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? And then shortly after he married her, he was like, I don't like you. He convinces the 16-year-old boy to come over. He's like, I want to show you a magic trick. He has him put on handcuffs, and the kid's like, cool, what's the magic trick? Why do I have these handcuffs on? And John Wayne Gacy like sexually tortures him, and then puts a noose around his neck, takes a stick and like puts it through the noose and starts turning the stick so that it eventually strangles the kid to death. And John decides, hey, you know what makes me really happy inside and tickled like a fucking pickle is dressing up like a clown. John would go to hospitals and entertain young children dressed as a clown. His clown name was Pogo. So he got involved with politics as well, like wicked, random, like everyone liked this guy, which I don't get. Like, he seems like a mega fucking creep to me, but apparently he was very convincing. So in 1975, got divorced. Now that is where ultimate hell broke loose, because he didn't have a wife to have to work around with his murders. So he would abduct boys, he would trick them into coming to his house, he would repeat the process of being a fucking creep and killing these children, which is so terrible. It got to the point where he started running out of room in his crawl space. So he hired this guy, also kind of a younger guy, to come and put piping in, and I think he was like very specific about where he wanted the piping so that he could store more bodies in the ground. Like, I don't know how that shit works because I'm not a fucking serial killer, but he had this guy put the piping in. He was very like, are you almost done? Are you almost done? And then the kid actually lived with him, rented out a room in his house, and he came home one night. John Wayne Gacy is dressed up in his pogo costume and he's drunk as fuck, and he's like, I want to show you a magic trick. So the kid's like, okay, puts the handcuffs on, and he's like, all right, what's the magic trick? And John Wayne Gacy just starts giggling like and I guess the guy was like, yeah, if you don't take these off, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, which is actually kind of funny to me because I feel like that would be a normal reaction of like any guy, like, take these off or I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's when John Wayne Gacy like flipped the fuck out. He started growling at him. He picked him up and started swinging around. He goes, I'm gonna rape you, I'm gonna rape you. And the person ended up getting the key somehow and like overpowering John Wayne Gacy and running into his room. And I guess nothing happened after that because he ended up moving out. Why wouldn't you tell the police that? So in the fall, he was on a pretty consistent killing schedule of killing people every 2 to 3 weeks. By December 11th of 1978, he had actually killed 33 people, and that was the night that he killed the last person that he killed, and it was a boy named Rob Pest or Peast, and he met him at a convenience store, lured him back to the house, and the boy was missing, obviously, because he killed him. And that was how he got caught, because people saw John Wayne Gacy in the convenience store with him, and he denied it. He said, no, I was in the convenience store, but I didn't see him. And so they started thinking like, you're sketchy. So the police got a warrant for his house. They went to his house. They didn't look in the crawl space, like, dumb. But they found like a bunch of little medallions and stuff from the boys. He had like a collection of like necklaces, pendants, and things that were from the dead bodies, basically, that he took from these people. Police actually thought he was extremely likable, and John had the balls to invite them over to have a fish dinner at his house. And that's where he really fucked up. One of the people he invited over smelled the dead bodies coming from the crawl space, and that's when they got their second warrant. So they went in, they found 33 bodies in his crawl space and in the piping under his house. Yeah, you can see the pictures of him laughing in his mugshot because he apparently thought the whole thing was a joke. He ended up pleading insanity, which was overthrown because he ended up getting the death penalty for everything that he did. While he was in prison, he lived for the whole clown image that he had, and he would paint these clown paintings, and like he became infamous for his drawings, and everyone loved the idea of the killer clown. And then also he wrote a book, and the whole thing claimed that he was innocent and that his co-workers planted the bodies in his basement, which obviously nobody believes because it's just what? But yeah, he was actually, like, I do think he was fucked up, but I don't think he was crazy. Like, I think he had an imbalance and he had fantasies that he was just crazy enough to act on. But yeah, he ended up getting the death penalty by lethal injection in 1994. And I don't know if anyone went besides his sister. And it's like, I'm sorry to my sisters, but if you ever did anything like that, like, I ain't going to your shit. I ain't going to your lethal injection ceremony. It ain't happening because you're a crazy bitch. So yeah, his sister seems a little off too. Like, you still had love for your brother who could do that. Like, no thank you, you're dead to me, I don't like you. That's why I like to watch these documentaries on serial killers, because it's just so mind-blowing that anyone could do something so terrible that would be like in a horror movie. Like, it's just mind-blowing, that's all. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, not trying to disrespect anybody, I'm just relaying information that's already on the internet to you guys in an interesting way. At least I hope so. Watch out for them killer clowns, bitch. You never know where they're gonna be. Maybe under your bed. Go look. Oh my god.